Near to where I live, in near Radstock, near Midsummer Norton, that area of Somerset. In 1839, there was a mining disaster accident that happened. They used to go down. 1839. Imagine the technology of the time wasn't like it is these days, and they were lowered down on a platform which had with a rope to each corner, and then a central rope that held it, and it was supposed to carry a maximum, I think it was 10 people to go down to the bottom of the pit mining. Anyway, what happened was there was 16 people on there that day on the platform that they were lowering down, and it broke. The rope broke, and these 16 men and boys, and some were like father and son, I think, they fell to their deaths, and I think there was only 2 of them that they could recognise, such was the damage, the disfigurement of the corpses that they managed to bring out of the pit afterwards. So if you can imagine 750 feet falling that distance with you in pitch darkness, it's long enough to think and talk, even the amount of time that they would have been falling for to certain death. You know, they had time to consider their end, or even time to speak to each other. Who knows what actually took place? And there was afterwards there was like reports, investigations, inquiries into what happened, and it was seen that the rope looked like it had been cut with a knife or frayed away, so that it might not have been an accident. It could have been wear and tear. It could have been just one of those things. And back there in those times, 1839, there wasn't the same kind of health and safety at all as there is these days. I remember reading about another thing in this area was the building a box tunnel. Isambard Kingdom Brunel's incredible tunnel that goes through. It comes out near Box, which is a little village not far from Bath, and I think it's about 1,500 yards long, and apparently in its construction, in its building, there was one person died for every 10 yards that the tunnel went into through the hills. They had shafts for ventilation and to bring up rubble and stuff like that. So there's a series of shafts coming up from there, and like I say, you know, the life wasn't. It was cheap. Lives were cheap then, and you know, great as Isambard Kingdom Brunel was, and his work, you know, the Clifton Suspension Bridge, the double skin ship. There's numerous engineering projects that he was involved with, and he's something of a, you know, legendary character really of his time. But to get back to the mining disaster, I found out about it one time because it's not spoken about much, and the mining around here stopped in about 1974. So the generation of people I knew, my generation, I'm coming just at 60 now, their fathers had been miners, and much like in post-industrial areas, the reason for there being a town there was for the mine workers to live there. And once the reason, similar, there's like round Doncaster, for example, there's Conisborough, Asker and various other mining villages that there's no mining there anymore, but there's still these communities there, and the communities have been, you know, they had like working men's clubs, and and they were like made politically aware. There was unions, people discussed stuff, there were banners, there were marches, they were educated politically, which people aren't these days in those areas. There is no, I mean, the communities are still there, the people are, well, the children's children and people there are still there, but the mining's gone. So heroin swept into these areas, and the descendants, obviously, of these ones who died in the colliery disaster, which I'm talking about, they were left living in the communities that had no, the purpose for being, had gone, and purpose is what people need in life. Money is a requirement to get by, but for psychologically and spiritually, humans, women need purpose, and now the purposes are taken away. The people resorted, a lot of them resorted to heroin. I was shocked because I moved to Frome, and Frome's quite a sort of hippie-ish, more middle class sort of town, and there must only have been about a dozen heroin addicts there when I moved there. Whereas 7 miles away in Radstock there was several hundred. Just goes to show you that the difference in class, social class, and the difference in drugs come into play in different communities, working class communities. It's a real tragedy, But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say a little bit. It's always fascinated me, this disaster. I don't know if you can obviously Google it, look it up, check it out. It's an interesting but very, very saddening story, and I often think of that fall, the time it would have taken from when the rope snapped and the platform fell until they were smashed on the rocks and coal and below, and whether they spoke to each other, whether they said anything on the way down, or just what they thought as it happened, knowing that you're dying, you're falling through pitch darkness, waiting for a big bang. Yeah, okay, I thought I'd just record that one because I hadn't done one for ages, and I just got thinking about it today. Okay, bye for now.